Hello and thank you for joining us on Newsweek, where we highlight some of the biggest stories that made the headlines recently. I am Mark Otabo. President Tinubu signs new tax policy into law. Also, President Tinubu brokers reconciliation as Wike, Fubara and Rivers lawmakers opt for peace. And later on the show, IGP confirms arrests of 26 suspects linked to Benue massacre. All the details in a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back. President Bola Tinubu on Thursday signed 4 new tax laws into effect, marking a major step towards modernizing and simplifying Nigeria's tax system. Under the new framework, the value-added tax VAT rate remains at 7.5%, shelving earlier proposals to increase it to 12.5%. However, the scope of VAT has been expanded to enhance coverage and efficiency. Now, to cushion the impact on everyday Nigerians, essential goods and services, including food, healthcare, education, public transportation, residential rent and exports are now zero rated, meaning they are exempted from VAT to help reduce inflationary pressures. All right, it's an all-out offensive this evening on the show as both guests are right here with me in the studio. I've got public affairs analyst, author and speaker, Jesufemi Adiogun. How are you doing, my brother?
I'm doing fine.
It's good to have you on the show this evening.
Thank you.
And I also have I won't call him a long-lost brother, but it's been a while we've seen him. He's a public affairs analyst as well, by the name Dotun or John Dotun. Where have you been? you just go around the globe.
Of course, you can testify to the fact.
Good to have you on the show.
It's good to be here.
Now, just for me, very quickly, how would you react to the historic tax reform bill that has long time been in the works, for years, and now finally being signed into law?
Well, I'm happy. I can't even express how happy I am. It's groundbreaking.
Okay.
It's expected from our president.
Right.
I mean, because as a treasurer and as an auditor of Mobile previously, we expect such a thing from such a person with such experience.
Right.
Now, what does this place to normal Nigerians?
Right.
It's good news for normal Nigerians.
Okay.
And looking at the hula baloo of the pressure of this is going to be passed or not, some sector saying it's not going to favor them, for him to be able to pull through and set up a team that set up not only the tax itself, they set up a framework that will make the tax work.
Okay.
Either they are there or they are not there. A fiscal policy framework.
Right.
Now, every Nigerian listening will be like, okay, this tax reform. Somebody was asking me today, I don't even understand what this is all about.
Right.
They don't really understand. What you just need to understand as a Nigerian is that if you are a low earner, you are not going to pay tax.
Okay.
If your family is a low earner, you're not going to pay. And Nigerians are interested in, even if we are paying, how are we going to see what they're using the money for?
Okay.
Is also taken care of in the framework.
Okay.
Total transparency.
Okay.
Secondly, you are paying. Another person may have somebody inside that may not be paying.
Right.
Also, the system has taken care of that.
Right.
And you cannot hide. Everybody will pay because your BVN, your NIN, your phone number has been captured. You can't say you're in Abuja. You're in Abuja.
No escape.
No escape. So additionally, as a Nigerian, it's more money for the government.
Okay.
You can imagine South Africa is generating ×3 of what Nigeria is currently generating.
In taxes.
In taxes. And South Africa is a bit over 40 million, and we are over 200 million. So this is really going to triple the amount of taxes that Nigeria generates.
Okay.
States are going to get more money.
Okay.
Local government are going to get more money.
Okay.
That means they'll be able to build more infrastructure. They'll be able to fulfill more of their promises for us. So it's a win-win for Nigeria. And I will give a good round of applause to our president for being able to do this.
Pull this off.
And additionally,
okay,
I will encourage the president that it's not only tax that need reform.
Okay.
Police need reform.
Okay.
Healthcare need reform.
We'll get to all of that. This is the topic first. We know we'll get to all of that. Now, Dotun, very quickly now, do these reforms represent a shift towards progressive taxation or are they simply administrative improvements? He just highlighted now that in South Africa, they generate 3 times more tax than we do here. No. But people will argue that we don't earn as much as some of them earn there in South Africa. No. Our minimum wage here is quite on the low. No. But from what you see with this whole tax situation, are we looking at a shift towards progressive taxation here, or just
okay, so when you talk about framework, it's a major guidance when it comes to implementation of any policy.
Okay.
But of course, before I come to your question, I like to address one very important part of it. I was part of those people who strongly spoke against the idea of the reforms,
okay,
simply because of the fact that democracy is a government of figure and feeling.
Okay.
You don't just look at the figure, you also look at the feeling of the people. Okay. Why a lot of people criticized it before looking into it is the fact that a lot of groundwork was not done
yet
before the introduction.
Before the introduction or before the criticism?
Yes, both before the criticism and the introduction.
Okay.
What we call communal engagement, the government was not heavy on the area of communal engagement. Okay. So a lot of people did not understand. In fact, up till now, I don't want to be generous with figure. A number of Nigerians are still wondering, what is this all about?
Okay.
First, because they understand that the philosophy of some of the administrations we've had in Nigeria is about bringing in more money. And the question has not been with the capacity of the government to bring in more money.
Okay.
The question has always been, at the end of the day, how do I benefit?
Okay.
Because democracy is about individualism.
Okay.
It's about the only government in the world that talks about you,
okay,
only the direction of your destiny in government.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? So this is a total shift. It's something that we have not done before. Okay. It's something we have not seen before. Okay. It's something that places power in the hand of average Nigerian. For instance, I have looked at my tax before, and particularly some months, and I'm like, man, it's like you're working for the government.
Okay.
If urgent steps were not taken, as this one has been done now,
you will have jumped back.
You will have actually considered a lot of things. And incidentally,
right,
if you look at the history of the growth of nations,
right,
you discover that we can make noise about multinationals, but the people that actually develop the economy of the nation are medium, small scale, and medium entrepreneurs. So in Nigeria, it is a chaotic situation for them,
okay,
because they have to power their generator by themselves. They have to do virtually everything that the government is supposed to do for them. So
sure,
the only thing that the government can do is to look at the area of taxation.
Okay.
And I'm so happy, I am glad. If you have ever done anything in Nigeria, you will be happy now that the government has tried to put it in sector. What is going to be the benefit for the state government? What is going to be the benefit for the people?
Okay.
What's going to be the benefit for the SMEs?
Okay.
And for the SMEs, I'm particularly happy because now entrepreneurs can begin to do something that they have not done before, okay, without the fear of unnecessary.
Why you have established that? Now, given the current economic pressures, the subsidy removal, inflation, naira depreciation, how might the public perceive these tax changes?
Okay, so I think it's one of the ways to give money back to the people.
Okay.
When you talk about subsidy removal, and this is the logic behind it that a lot of people do not understand, subsidy removal is transferring payments from one person to the other. In other words, there's subsidy to be paid.
Okay.
When the government says we are removing, it means that we do not longer want to pay. But who pays? The people pays. So the people pay. Now, is this kind of taxation is a way of returning money for people in the community that do not have the capacity to, in the first place, pay for subsidy of the basic things that they need to do. Because one of the reasons why subsidy became an issue in Nigeria, nobody will have concerned himself about whether we are paying 1,000 or 2,000 naira for a liter of fuel.
Okay.
But why is everybody complaining? It's because there's no country in the world that has built the life of its citizen around petrol the way we have it in Nigeria.
Okay.
For example, you go home now, you want to power your generator with petrol. I want to go to the market. I went to the market for the first time in about 10 years and I was surprised. I went to the pepper woman to grind pepper. They were calling ridiculous amount of money.
Okay, hold on.
It's heavy.
Fantastic. You want to react to that?
Yes, I want to react to some of the points that he made.
Quickly, because we have
because of viewers and Nigerians.
Yeah.
Now, Implementation is actually something we worry about sometimes.
Yes.
But I took my time and listened to the person that chaired this tax reform, which is Mr. Taiwo Oyedele.
Yeah.
And he explained explicitly.
He broke it down. He did.
That companies, for example, you are exempted from tax initially if your turnover is 25 million.
250.
25 million. 25 million currently.
Yeah.
Now they moved it to 100 million.
Okay.
Meaning all the employee taxation, everything you needed to do, you were doing before. When this is
in effect,
effective, you don't have to do that. You have more money in your pocket. Additionally, they've removed taxation from food, from healthcare, from rent.
Yeah.
So the effect of subsidy
the burden
removal
you should have had on the people is minimal now.
Yes. So I mean, it's very, very sensitive. And they said that they have over 100 people in the committee that was set up.
Okay.
Well, this is almost 2 years before it was passed.
All right.
So they did their due diligence. If Mr. President didn't set up that committee, they just come up with something, say we recommend this. Yes.
All right.
So the committee was the force behind it and engaged all the stakeholders. And when I listened to him and listened to how they structured the entire thing, it made me believe more in Nigeria and made me believe that, oh, we are advancing now. The only person that needs to worry right now about the tax reform is if you are not currently paying tax.
All right. Well, let's move on to our next topic very quickly. Now, the long wait for normalcy in